Strength Yoga. Thank you so much for joining me again today. I hope that you enjoyed last week's session on quiet. And today we're going to talk about strength. And we all need a lot of strength to get through these days and the days ahead, and God wants to give you that strength. Spirit and Truth Yoga is a traditional yoga practice incorporating both scripture and prayer into the movements and meditation of yoga. And today, as we focus on strength, we're going to focus on how God makes you strong. You are stronger than you know, and He's going to give you everything that you need to get through the days ahead. So let's get together and get on our mats and get started. So to get started, you are going to find your mat, and we're going to start in easy pose. Maybe you need a blanket or a towel to sit on, something that your knees can rest easily on your feet as you come into a seated position. If you're joining me just more for the meditation and you want to be in a chair, that's totally fine as well. So come into easy position, feet crossed underneath, knees, shins crossed, and just breathe here. Close your eyes and allow yourself to let go of the day thus far, to put on pause the day ahead, and just be here. In order to draw from strength, we first have to connect to that strength and be still. Really allowing your knees to sink and fall heavy on your feet, the crown of your head to reach up away from your mat, your shoulders to fall down your spine as you just breathe comfortably. Allowing that breath to blow away any worries or tensions, to breathe air into the spaces that may feel tense. And I want you in this moment to come to your own intention for your mat today. As we focus on strength, what are your hopes in this time? Join me in prayer, putting hands to heart center. God, I thank you for this time on our mats. I thank you for the technology that allows us to be together in spirit and in truth, and being one in heart as we focus on drawing our strength from you. Some of these days feel tremendously hard, and we all need strength. Your divine strength that is more powerful than we have on our own. Help us to rely on you, to find strength in you, and to take that with us off of the mat today. So come to the top of your mat in standing mountain pose. Really charging your legs, activating all the muscles in your legs as your feet press firmly, evenly onto the floor. Opening your palms, finding true inward strength in this very still pose, allowing your body to be almost rigid yet still, like a strong, towering mountain would. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your knees. As you breathe in, I want you to raise your hands up overhead. Fix your eyes on God. Fix your eyes on things above, on what's eternal. Breathing hands, exhaling to heart center. Breathing here. Releasing. With an inhale, I want you to reach your hands up overhead and come into a forward fold. Allowing your
weight of your head, of your arms, to just sink your body to the floor. You can soften your knees if that makes it a little more available to you. Just breathing into those tense spaces, allowing your body to let go, to stretch. Breathing in, hands on shins, come up to a flat back, halfway up, and fold. With an inhale, we reach arms overhead, again fixing our eyes above. With an exhale, hands to heart center. Arms up, inhale, exhale, forward fold. Inhale, hands to shins, halfway up, really stretching your head away from your hips, extending in opposite directions as you feel that stretch. Breathing here for a moment, finding the strength here, and again fold. Reaching, inhale, arms up overhead, exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back, exhale, fold. As we warm up the spine, inhaling, arms overhead, exhale, hands to heart center. One more cycle, inhaling, arms up overhead, exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back, halfway up, really reaching that head away from the hips. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Allowing the breath to return. Breathing deeply. Connecting hands to heart. Connecting heart and mind to God. Drilling down to discover that inner strength. Breathing in and out of your nose. With our next exhale, reaching our hands up overhead. Exhale, fold. Framing the feet with both of your hands, step your left foot back, coming into our first lunge. Lowering your left knee down to the mat, flipping your toes so the top of your foot comes to the mat. And before you move your hands, I really want you to charge energy into both of those legs, coming into a deep connection, both feet, top of the left foot on the mat, the right foot, really planting that foot. As you lift your shoulders, barely fingertips on the mat, or you can come up and finding the strength here as you breathe. Philippians 4:13 says, I can do all things through him who gives me strength. Your strength doesn't come from your own energy, but from God. You are strong because he makes you strong. Be strong in this moment. Find that strength. Find the stillness that comes when we connect to that strength. Returning your hands to the mat. Flip your toes and come up to your first downward dog. Spreading your fingers wide, pressing the knuckles into the floor. Palms into the floor, thumbs into the floor, evenly distributing that weight in your hands. Maybe you want to pedal out your feet if your hips feel tight. Allowing yourself to breathe here. Coming to stillness. Breathing deeply, hearing yourself breathe in and out of your nose. Shifting your weight forward, I want you to come into plank pose. Really activating those abdominal muscles for a flat back. Releasing any tension in your shoulders. And lowering down, allowing your elbows to brush your sides. Come either into Sphinx Pose, elbows down, or Cobra with your hands below your shoulders. Really feeling that strength and energy in your low back. Pressing the tops of your foot into your mat and release. Flipping your toes back to downward dog. Breathing here. Allowing your heart to sink towards your mat. Drawing between your arms. Raising your hips to the ceiling. And breathe. Looking between your hands. Step your left foot up between your hands and lower your knee, taking the lunge on the opposite side. Again, you can just lightly rest your fingertips on the mat or bring your hands up to heart. Again, finding the quiet strength in this pose, feeling the strength of your leg muscles as they stabilize your body. Maybe fixing your gaze on one spot above in front of you or just on the floor beyond you. As you plug into that strength, you will become more stable and more secure. Breathing here. Hands framing feet. We flip toes stepping up. Again, rising. Inhale. Exhale, hands to heart. Breathing. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold. And step back into another downward dog. Breathing here. Heart to the mat. Hips raising, folding to the ceiling. Again, we come to plank pose. Charging your abdominals, strengthening your back, your glutes, as you as slowly and in most control can lower yourself to the floor. Flipping your toes to come to Sphinx Pose or Cobra. And finding your way back to downward dog. Breathing here. Look between your hands, stepping your right foot. We're going to come into Warrior One. Stabilizing your fingers on the mat, allowing your left foot to come into a 45-degree angle. Really making sure your legs are strong and stable before you rise up into Warrior One. Really want to sink your weight down into that forward knee, but making sure, looking down, that your knee doesn't go beyond your toes. Hands to heart center or above you. You want your hips to be square with the mat in front of you. So if you need to, literally put your hands on your hips and make sure that they're strong ahead of you. Really strengthening that back leg and sinking into that front knee. Breathing here. Maybe bringing hands overhead. These days can feel like a fight. They can feel like we're at war. And you are a warrior. you're a fighter. And we are all fighting through these days. Almost like scissors, open your hands and hips to warrior one, but still look at warrior two, but still look out over your right hand. Continuing to draw your knee back, opening up your right knee. You can look back at your left hand, making sure that it's straight behind you. And see if with your breath you can maybe sink a little further. You are so strong. A lot of times we're more strong than we ever give ourselves credit. As you feel the strain, find that perseverance, that strength. Drop your right elbow to right knee and lift your arm up overhead. Gazing to the heavens, rooting down through your feet, realizing that our roots are in God that give us this strength. Almost like you're pulling an invisible string with your left hand, pull yourself back up to warrior two. Again, returning your gaze over your right hand. Windmill your hands down to the mat again. Step back, downward dog. Lowering your knees to the mat. You can bring your big toes together. We're going to come into child's pose. And what you're going to do is just sit back on your heels. If this is uncomfortable for you, you can also have your knees apart. We're just going to come into this resting pose, really stretching arms straight above head, allowing your weight of your arms to sink into the mat, breathing, resting. You know, Psalm 23 talks about how God makes us lie down in green pasture. Part of being strong is knowing when to rest. We rest so that we can go back to the fight again. And just rest here. Maybe walking your fingers out an inch further away from your body, but again, fully releasing all the weight in your arms into the mat. Allowing your chest to fall towards the mat as it stretches your back. And breathe. Press your hands wide into the mat, raise your hips, and come back up into downward dog. Because we live to fight another day. We have to keep going. Again, finding that strength, finding that energy. This time looking forward to your hand, stepping your left foot forward. Angling your heel so that your right foot is at a 45-degree angle. Finding energy in your legs, allowing your abs, your core strength, and your leg strength to bring you up into warrior one. Drawing that knee open and away. Squaring your hips. Maybe dropping into that left leg a little further, straightening, charging that right leg a little further, really pressing into the outer edges of your right foot. Again, drawing that knee back. It always wants to fall in. Squaring your hips to the mat, sinking a little further. God gives you enough strength to endure. Even the most uncomfortable of situations, you have the strength and endurance to press on. One more breath. Maybe reaching your hands up above you and scissoring your arms open for warrior two. Again, straight arms, checking if your right arm is straight back behind you. Looking out over your left arm. You are ready for battle, ladies. Continuing to draw your knee back. Checking your knee isn't falling before your foot. Bending your left elbow, bring your left elbow to your bent knee. Raising your hand above your head. Stabilizing those feet, activating those feet into your mat to find stability. And in subtle surrender, in this strong pose, you acknowledge God. Even in the discomfort, you find stillness and fix your gaze on Him as you stabilize yourself, drawing strength and perspective from looking up. Again, finding that invisible rope with your right hand, you reach up and back, returning to warrior two. Windmilling your hands back to the mat, you step back, downward dog, just for a breath. Sinking your knees, returning to child's pose, knees apart, knees together, whatever is available to you. And you rest. And you breathe. Allowing your breath, the sounds of your breath to still your mind, the depth of your breath to recharge your body, bringing energy and life and stillness. Slowly rise up out of child's pose and find your way to the tops of your mat. We're going to do chair pose. You can stand at the top of your mat, or so you can see me a little bit better. I'm going to stand in front of you. Bring your ankles together, toes together. I want you to sweep your arms up overhead and sink down almost as you're sitting into a chair. Really finding the strength in your legs, spreading your toes wide as they evenly distribute this strength into your feet, being deeply rooted and grounded here. Raising your heart up and breathe. Deuteronomy 31:6 says, "Be strong and courageous. Do not fear or be in dread of them, for it is the Lord your God who goes with you. He will not leave you or forsake you." God is with you. God is with you. He's not going to leave you. He's got you. Be strong. Don't fear. Slowly we rise up. Wiggle it out. Breathe. I'm going to do it one more time. Ankles together, toes together. Really meditate on this, in this pose, on that strength that you find in God. Not fearing the discomfort, not fearing the pain. I want you to really focus your mind on that concept, on that scripture as we inhale, rising our hands overhead. Exhale, sinking down into chair pose. Utkatasana, bringing toes together, ankles together. Breathe. You are so strong. Reaching hands up, fixing gaze, finding strength and stillness. Be strong and courageous. Slowly, we rise up. Exhale, arms down. Wiggle it out, shake it out. You did it. He won't leave you. He's got you. We're going to come into tree pose, which we practiced last time. I want you to step into your right foot, allowing your weight evenly to distribute to all the parts of your feet. Softening that left leg, bringing hands to heart center. I want you to open your knee as much as you're able, as much as a 90-degree angle as you're able to. And rest either your heel on your ankle, heel on your calf, or up to your thigh, above your knee, but don't put any pressure on your knee. Whatever allows you to come to the most stillness. Our strength doesn't come from ourselves. Our strength comes from God. And as we drill down into Him, we find that in stillness often is our real strength. Isaiah 43 says, "Do not fear, for I have redeemed you. I have called you by name, you are mine. When you pass through the waters, I will be with you. When you go through the rivers, they will not overwhelm you. When you walk through the fire, you will not be scorched. And in the flames, they will not set you ablaze, for I am the Lord your God." As you look for a spot above you, really focus on that concept as you fix your gaze on either a spot on the wall ahead of you, a spot on the floor just beyond you. Fixing your drishti, focusing on stillness and strength and stability. Stepping out of tree with control, shaking it out. We come to our left foot, sinking our weight into our left foot, opening up that right knee, hands to heart center, and finding whatever tree pose is available to you today. Fix your mind on one focal point and find stillness there, because you are going to be okay. You are strong because you're in the hands of God, and He is your protector. He's your provider. And these winds and wave of fire of life right now will not overtake you. Just breathe and be here in this moment. If you come out, just step back into it. And release. Now find your seat on your mat. We're going to do what's called half boat pose. Come to your backs. I want you to take a breath and release, reconnecting with your breath, reconnecting with your intention. Bring your feet together. Your toes together, your thighs pushing towards one another. Bringing some energy into your arms, I want you to raise your feet and your arms towards one another into boat pose. Spreading your toes wide, finding the energy in this simple pose. Breathe and release. We're going to do that 2 more times. I want you to really connect with the strength, that inner strength that you have. Bringing feet together, ankles together, drawing your legs towards one another. We raise up. Really drawing your shoulder blades back. And release. Allowing feet to fall away from each other. Again, finding rest, finding rejuvenation. For one final expression, we bring energy to our legs, pressing towards one another, and rise up in strength. Spreading those toes wide, dropping your shoulders for 3 breaths. Breathe. And release. Extend your arms on either side, either goalpost arms, arms up if you don't have space, or arms all the way out. And I want you to bring your knees to your chest and allow them slowly to fall to the left side, all the way to the floor, and gazing out over your right arm. Breathing here, allowing this spinal twist to release any tension in your back. Bringing your knees back up to center, giving them a hug. Breathing, releasing, finding rest. Again, extending your arms on either side and slowly releasing your knees to the right side. Gazing out over the left arm. Finding that release. Breathing deeply into the spaces of tension. Again, returning back to center, hugging knees to chest. And extend your feet. As we come into Shavasana, a place of stillness, quietness, make any adjustments that you need to make this comfortable for you. Maybe adjusting your shoulders, allowing feet to fall away from one another. As your body temperature cools, maybe you want a blanket or a sweater, socks. We'll be here and just connecting with the stillness. Easy breathing. With that breath blowing away any thoughts that may enter. Just being here. Finding one more subtle way to release, to relax. Relaxing eyes or jaws, legs or backs. Finding one more moment to just be. Wiggle your fingers and your toes, bringing some movement subtly back to the body. Swallowing, releasing your throat. Bend your right arm and roll to your right side using your elbow as a pillow. Pressing yourself up back to a seated pose. Closing eyes, resting hands on knees or in lap, whatever is most comfortable for you. Just breathe. Psalm 18:30, he shields all who take refuge in him. For who is God beside the Lord? And who is the rock except our God? It is God who arms me with strength and keeps my way secure. He makes my feet like the feet of a deer. He causes me to stand on the heights. He trains my hands for battle. My arms can bend a bow of bronze. You make your saving help my shield, and your right hand sustains me. Your help has made me great. You provide a broad path for my feet, so that my ankles will not give way. Bringing your mind back to your intention at the beginning of this practice. make note of the strength that you've discovered in this time. Bringing hands to heart center. God, thank you for enabling us to scale the heights, for making us so strong that we can bend a bow of bronze, having feet like a deer only because you enable them. Help us to rest in you, our rock, our protector, our fortress, and to realize how strong we are in you. Help us connect with that strength, to rely on your strength, not the strength of ourselves, and to take the time to plug into you so that we can be strong for you, strong to encounter the days ahead. Thank you so much for joining me for Spirit and Truth Yoga today. I pray that you realize how strong you are because God is making you strong. He wants to give you everything that you need in these trying times, and I hope that you can take that off of your mats today and into your week ahead, and that you will truly connect with the strength of God. Namaste.